Caesar produced the gifts.
Oh my god!
Yo! Where you been?
Yo, chill out, bro. We've been, we've been listening to Ronin Town Hall. Where you been, bro? Where you been?
The Ronin Town Hall ended 4 minutes ago. Where you been?
I was in the past, now I'm in the present. What are we saying, bro? Yo, good afternoon, good morning, good evening, whatever the fuck it is, bro. Yeah, Ronin Radio, you know what it is. I don't need to do the whole spiel. If you just came from the Ronin Town Hall, salute, welcome. We have free mint whitelist going on right now. Go to the X page and get involved. You won't even have to pay for the mint, bro. So I don't know if you just get involved. Yeah, Town Hall just happened. We all have the afterthoughts. I heard, you cooked, Steven, bro. Apparently we got Psychout gonna come through maybe for a little bit.
Yeah. I hit him up. I mean, he's probably just taking a break right now, but yeah, I did say. I mean, you can check if he's already tried to open the link.
No, there's no barrier. If they click the link, they join.
Okay. Yeah, I'm sure he'll show up at some point, but yeah, we'll just hang out, talk. In the meantime, gotta warm up the stage a little bit. That was good. I mean, I think them coming on to the Ronin stage, it was more so about like, it felt like it was like getting a temp check, right?
Yeah,
like,
it was.
Yeah,
not totally, but
yeah, get a temp check of the community, see what's up, see how they're feeling, and like just make sure that everything's good. Let everybody know everything is good, right? We're just hanging in there. They're very honest about everything.
When do you think they'll see that it's Ronky, bro? You know what I'm saying?
Listen. They already know, and they see it, right? But the timing isn't yet. Like, you're not gonna put. Okay, let me tell you something. Look at Ethereum, for example, right?
Mm-hmm.
Ethereum has like dirt low prices, right now, right? And you're wondering like why it has so much utility, all this stuff, blah 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 blah. It's because if it's that low, there's a reason for it. Someone is suppressing the prices there intentionally, forcing others to sell while bigger players are accumulating, like BlackRock, for example. Okay, their stash of ETH has been skyrocketing over the past months, and no one has even like really noticed. Okay,
no one's talking about it.
Yeah, big institutions are coming in. Okay, the big institutions, the reason why they come in is because they hate to pass up on a shit ton of money, right? Mm-hmm. They like to make money. They're in the business of making money. That's what they care about, right? But they don't want to buy at the tops. They don't want to be your exit liquidity and so on. They want to buy at lower prices, and other people help them because it's better if they're involved and like, you got ETFs and all these kind of things popping. Now, for Ronke, we're not ETH or anything, but the concept is similar, right? You want to have an attack when things are starting to turn around. You want to go all in with a big whoosh, right? And just like take everything out at once, right? So for now, it's like, okay, let Ronke do its thing. Let's see how it goes. They still got to prove themselves. They've only been alive for 2 months now. Not that long.
Is that how long it's been, bro? I feel like Ronke has been in my life for years at this point.
No. Bro, it feels like that because it feels like we've gone through an entire 4-year cycle, right? We saw 108 Bitcoin, we saw 80K or something, then we saw 95K, then back to 74, back to 90 again, or 88 or whatever it was, 86, back to 74, and now we're back to 95, all in the span of 2.5 months, right? Yeah. So people have gone through an entire bull cycle, bear cycle in just a couple of months. So
expedited cycle, yeah.
Exactly.
So, honestly, this last 2 months have they've really dragged on. And so much has happened, but I think that's the nature of the beast right now. This industry, just in general, the way that life is, we're in the age of information, right? So it feels like so much is happening, but it's almost
Psycho's here. He's here. See, I told you, bro.
Yeah, no.
That's it. Let
Theban
him
cooked,
in.
Theban cooked. But no, we just had the town hall. I was just saying this, that the life that we have right now, bro, our receptions information is enhancing more and more and more. So it feels like, for me, at least personally, so much is happening. It kind of stretches the time out. Like these last 2 months really have felt almost like more events have happened than over, some years
Did
of,
you let
of
him
my
in?
life. Yeah, Psych Out is here. We're going to introduce. We don't need to. It's
Yo.
Psych Out, bro. We just had Ronin Town Hall. We're going to catch up. This is like the after party, it's chill. We're a lot more relaxed vibes here. And yeah, man. Welcome. We appreciate having you here, Psych Out, bro. It was good to have the
What's
Ronin Town Hall.
good?
But welcome, man. Thank you for coming through.
Hi guys, can you all hear me or?
Yeah.
everything
We
back?
can hear you.
That's good. Yeah, it was a good time to catch me just after, just a quick toilet break for me, and then can stay here on for a few minutes, and then back to work. I have a couple of meetings, so the US is just waking up now, so that's usually my day. Actually, in the morning it's like Asia time, a lot of Asian meetings, and then boom, midday, pretty chill, and then starting up from now it's coming up on 4 p.m. So from 4 to 8, right? That's usually where the US is up.
Actually, I've always wanted to ask, do you like trade? Do you do stocks and other things like that, in general?
Wait, did you say trade or train?
Trade.
Trade cryptos.
Like crypto or stocks, right? Like general markets. Like you said, New York session
got it.
open.
Yeah. So we have pretty strict insider trading stuff from our side. So we don't I don't really participate in the market in that sense without actually approval from our general counsel. So if something does happen, we can show that we are doing things right. I am long ETH, but I don't trade in the same way. Actually, I just buy and hold, and then I guess I have my moments where I'm selling. Like usually I've been selling Ether at 4K, and then I usually buy back at 2K or 1.5, and then that's kind of the way I think about it. But I wouldn't say that I'm an active trader. No.
Right. Like I imagine every team has someone, or maybe you guys probably got advisors telling you about market conditions when they're expecting things to turn around.
So internally, if you mean internal treasury management for Ronin and Sky Mavis, then we have our internal treasury management team, which is a few people. So it's not but we do, of course, I participate there to make sure that a lot of not a lot, but I make sure that we have enough money. That's
right.
At one point, when we were a younger company, we almost went bankrupt, right? Because we had pretty poor treasury management. And I think after that, I've been always very, very focused on making sure that we have money for many years, especially so when we are able to strategically sell, if some assets that we have, we might do that at a high price. And when it comes to buybacks, we might buy back other things, but it's not really common.
Yeah. Oh, I remember you saying a few years back that you guys got runway for 10 years to come, right? Or something like that. You made sure, during that time you said that.
We are solid in terms of runway. So we have several years. When I said 10 years, that was if you included all the tokens we have, all those other things in cash, we still have several years as well. So it's not that, it's just, we need to make sure that we have always got several years of runway for cash, for potential tax bills, for let's say if we're going to keep growing, if we're going to keep investing. So I mentioned, we've invested about I think $13 million in various companies so far, from a Sky Mavis balance sheet perspective. So there's still a lot of that stuff that's happening, but all of that comes from having a solid financial position.
Yeah. I think, to be honest, Ronin's been really smart with not being so frugal with spending as well, and that's always been a strength factor, the ability to outlast, but not only outlast, it's an outperform factor as well, which is why I see products like Axie and then everything that Ronin's doing as so far ahead of a lot of teams. There is easy vanity metrics to be paid for in this industry and this world in general, and yeah, I think Ronin's kind of refrained pretty well from seeking those short-term gratifications over the 4.5 years that I've been in this industry. So I think whoever is managing the treasury and the decision making that you guys are making around, you know, spend has been pretty solid. But
I mean,
there's a lot of questions in chat already.
I think we're okay.
Go ahead.
I think like obviously when we raised all the money that we did, the purpose was to dominate, to fucking acquire companies. I think about business building as a game. Any money that we have are resources that can be acquired, can be used to acquire companies and competitors, and then do other cool things, right? It's just unfortunate that we ended up getting hacked, so we basically deleted all that money. But you know,
that was such a huge setback, right? Because we were sitting at like AXS, I think at $100 that time still.
Yeah.
Right, or like $80 something. It was like ridiculously high up, and then it just started like mega bleeding after the hack, especially.
I mean, it was. I don't. So I was saying a little bit on the call there, like on the other Ronin town hall. Like, I don't really like to dwell on the negatives in life because I feel like it's counterproductive. But you know, if I start thinking really deeply about what could have been, what should have been, whatever, then of course it's quite painful because you know we were in an exceedingly strong position after the fundraising round that we've had, right? So what does it mean now? It, you know, doesn't really matter too much. We still have to do the things that we're doing, but definitely like the company will never be the same because the strategy was, you know, clearly laid out. We were on the road to like very clear domination, but you know, we're still here, so we're still surviving. It's just different type of vibes.
It's like an injury for a basketball player, right? You get like a little bit of setbacks. We just gotta recover.
We could have been different, we could have been different, but you know, maybe that would have been worse, right? We don't know what we don't know. So let's focus on what we can control. What is where are we today, right? That's what I care about.
Yeah. See, something you said really, like, when I asked you about trading and all these things, and the way that you answer the questions, like, oh, you know, I just buy ETH at 4K, I sell at 4K, I buy back at like 2K, whatever, and like very casual, very like methodical, safe place. And I think that's one of the reasons why Ronin has been able to like last this long. I don't feel like Ronin was ever like over leveraged in any situations or anything like that. And right now it's like, it feels like survival is the most important thing, right? Like we just got to get through all this pain and all this like FUD and whatever else is happening. And like these other projects that are over leveraged, that pretty much went all in just for like 2 years or something, like thinking that, okay, the mass adoption is going to be here. But in reality, like mass adoption is never guaranteed, right? It will come, but
we don't know how long
when
it's
going to come.
That's all.
Exactly. So survival is the most
important in the market, right? That's it. I think you're totally right. That's the advice that I'm giving to the entrepreneurs that we work with as well, which is, you know, for us, it's of course easier because we have more flexibility. We're a bigger company. But like actually it's the CEO of any company that should make sure that that company has enough money to survive through tough times. That's the ultimate responsibility of the CEO. How does the company have enough money to survive? That's it.
Yeah. So like, this year I'm expecting like a lot of teams to blow up. Like a lot, right? Because
some already have, right? Like and
changed.
It's already happening. You guys don't know the half of it. You guys don't see my DMs of teams that are in deep shit asking us to come to Ronin to fund us or to do all those things, right? You know, I wish I could help them all, but we can't, right? We have to really be very, very careful about the teams that we're helping, because what actually happens is that, let's just say that we fund those teams, we give them 500K, right? What happens in 6 months? They're going to come back. Oh, we need another 500K. Like, that's not how this game freaking works, right? You can't have that. You know, it's up to the entrepreneurs also to find a sustainable plan, so that the solution that they present to us or the other investors is like, okay, this is going to take us to this milestone, this amount of months, like blah blah. They're trying to build a business, and this is an entrepreneur's journey, right? Just because it's crypto, it doesn't really mean like that you can, you know, get free money like that easy. It's not the way it should work, right?
Yeah, absolutely. This is the pressure time, right? This is like the pressure cooker. And like you said, with entrepreneurials, like this is the moment to take that pressure really and truly. And this is probably what will cause it. You know, we've seen new teams come into Ronin and bring, you know, creative ways to go about their loops with their games. Cambria, we've seen Fishing Frenzy do really well. But in these moments with that pressure on, I think this is where maybe new novel mechanics are created, are thought of, are you know, planned out. And if there is this kind of wave of games in I don't want to say panic mode, but it would be, you know, in some essence panic mode. But you know, a lot of good things can come from pain and pressure either way. So, but
I mean, yes, a lot
outlasting
of
it,
teams
yeah.
are going to have to cut down their spending, right? Cut down their team size. And yeah, it's what you said, right? You know, through pain, there's learning, right? Through pain, it means that you're going to have to make some hard decisions. Maybe it means that you need to focus on things. Maybe you need to think differently about the product. Maybe it means that whatever it is that you're making is not the right thing. Like even when I look back at Axie Classic, Axie Origins, Homeland, Project K, Project T, whatever, all of these other things, right? You know, we've had to kill many different things, or sunset them, or refocus our efforts into whatever we believe is going to be the most impactful thing for Axie and for Ronin down the line.
Yeah.
That's the
I like
reality
the
of a business, right? That's what it means: building a business, building a company.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So for game. Oh, sorry.
No. I'm gonna go tangent. So you stay on. You stay on.
Okay.
Bro.
So
you got.
so as for games, because you know, while I rarely get a chance to pick your brain here, but like I have a very good idea of what type of games I think will succeed. A lot of people are talking about MMOs and so on. I agree. I think MMOs will succeed because they got that built-in ecosystem, right? And I think we've seen with Cambria now that there's a blueprint there that could work, which is like an entry to play type thing, right? Like I've always believed that Web3 gaming is about like some kind of a risk factor, right? Whether that's like you're buying an NFT, expecting the NFT price to go up, or like you're entering an ecosystem, competing for a leaderboard, but you have to pay something, right? The only problem with NFTs is like, you know, they're prone to all this game balance and all these other things like that. But when you have to pay a ticket to enter to compete in, you know exactly what you're getting yourself into because you know what place you want to get up to what scenario you're going to be at to get an ROI versus like what your risk is. And that's what we're like kind of seeing with Cambria. Do you think there's other type of games other than MMOs that have a chance to do something similar to that using that blueprint to succeed?
Yes, to an extent, right? I think the problem of the games that you're describing is that they are somehow too zero sum, right? The money that's being put into the system is like netted out by the money that's being taken out, right? And there's a fee, right? There's a rake, basically, to the platform that's providing the game platform. You know, poker is basically that. Right?
Yeah.
Poker is a game of skill and luck, right? But I think a little bit of the issue here is that people are naturally like, let's take chess as an example, right? It's only pure skill, right? So at the highest of ranks, you know, the only people who are going to queue there are the people who believe that they can meet like the other top people, right? So there's a very kind of excluding thing in terms of how many players will be playing chess. So like that's like hyper competitive games, which does not have any random factor, you know, oftentimes, you know, fall into that trap where it becomes too skill based and the amount of money that's being put in is just like there is no opportunity. Like people who are losing,
it's essentially boring, right? And it becomes boring too.
Yeah, because the people who are losing, you know, they keep losing, right? And they then when you've lost 2 times, right? The risk, the thing is like, how do you actually put money back into it when you know you're going to lose again, right? So you can counter that by randomness inside the game to an extent, right? Where you know, poker once again is like a good thing because there's random factor. The worst player in the world can still beat the best player in the world. You know, maybe, you know, the best player is probably going to win 70% of the time or something like that. So there is still like some, you know, there's still a lot there to work around, I would say. But you know, it's just, it becomes very, you know, it becomes quickly boring, as we said, right? So then you have to start thinking about, can you use tokens as a basically no loss ticket? So you would say that, let's say I'm paying $1 to come in, and then in return I get like $1 in the token in the future, even if I lose $1, right? Does that make sense? So basically, there's a no loss lottery. So you're basically subsidizing people to play. But then the question is like, how do you actually think about bots, for example, inside those games? So like that's kind of the logic that I'm always going through when we look at different type of games, or I challenge the teams that we have who are looking into those kinds of games, because I've spent a lot of time thinking about it. Which is why I think it's a little bit hard to say, oh, those games are necessarily great, because like when you see in Cambria, there's like 3,000-4,000 players right now, and then you try to extrapolate, can it actually have 20, 30, 40,000? Now, maybe that's possible with a no loss type of lottery. What happens with the bots? And then you have to kind of model that out again. Now, I'm actually bullish on Cambria. I think it's a cool game. But at the same time, I think that there is I mean, I think it's a little bit too harsh if like it's fully like too many people lose money.
Oh yeah. I play the game, and like honestly, there's no guide, there's no real like help in Cambria for like the early or beginners and like the mid-level players, right? Like to tell you what to do, where to go. So if you didn't play like the previous season or the play test or whatever, like you really were just lost from day one. So you almost had like no chance in there. And the other thing about Cambria is like it's very physically taxing, right? Like we come from Dota. We know how many hours that we had to play to get to the level of gameplay that we were at. If a whale started tomorrow, he has 0% chance to get to that same level, even if he played for like 10 years, probably, right? Like they would just never be able to catch up. So my thinking, especially nowadays, like since I think it was 2018 or 2019, games like League of Legends, Dota, they've been on like a huge decline. Not only in like how many people are new starting in, most of their players are all legacy players, and also their viewership is on a decline. A lot of the games that people are starting to pick up nowadays is about like super fast dopamine hits, fast gameplay, and as least physically taxing as possible, right? And a lot of the whale games like Clash of Clans and all these other like mobile games, they don't really need to have any micro skills, right? They're all like very strategy based and similar to poker, as I would as I would see it, right? Like poker has a lot of whales and, as they call it, players come in because they just think they're smarter than everybody else. So using Cambria's strategy of like, okay, entrance fee type thing like poker, but then I could see a world where a game that's like similar to poker with an entrance fee, but like I said, with some RNG factors, but also some real-time activity and not like something only turn-based, I think could see some kind of a success.
I agree. I think you're right. The way you think about it is quite similar to how I also look at it, right? And it's just an observation of human beings. I think what are they attracted to in the gaming space right now? Well, at the same time, I still think that these games that or the games that I think will have the biggest reach or the biggest potential, right? I think that we're heading into basically the era of virtual worlds, where the interface of the game could be pixels, could be Cambria, could be whatever, where people will spend most of their time and jump into different games from there. And it's all about the representation of the game character inside that first virtual world, which is going to be a digital kind of representation of yourself. And from there on out, there's a lot to, see how that virtual world will play out, right? This is going to look like Roblox. This is going to look like World of Warcraft. At the end of the day, it's like, where are people spending their time? That will be the foundation of a platform, which then again is where people will spend their time, which then again is where people will be entering different type of experiences with their friends, with their family. And then, you'll have a gameplay layer maybe at the start to attract all the players. And then when the players are they're done on the game side of that game, they will be in the social part of the game. And from there on, they will enter many different type of sub games. Yeah, that's how I think about the future.
Yeah, I think it's something that we can't really ignore as well, but something that we've held quite closely in Ronin is the nostalgia element, and I think that's absolutely necessary for a lot of, like you say, legacy players as well. But something that I ponder on quite often is like where are things going, and you know, as an emerging market, also to have a viewpoint on, you know, what are the new forms of games that can be formed to capture a newer audience that hasn't yet existed in a gaming industry, or is also emerging with that industry. But
Gila,
yeah.
I will say something. I agree with you. I think everyone's aiming for that, trying to get more people, new people to come in. What I realize is like, why are people not building also for the people who are already here? Like, I haven't heard any teams look at the people that are already here and like in other spaces and other ecosystems and be like, okay, what product do you guys want? Right? You got already all these people who are interested in Web3. Now, why don't we like cater to the people who are here? Right? Like DeFi has done a great job, right? A lot of the people in crypto do leverage trading and all these things because they can't do it in traditional trading in that way, right? And they love that stuff. And these are things that people are already here for. So I kind of ask, like, okay, what do the Web3 gamers actually want that are already here?
Yeah, but even that is in itself is it's a mixed bag, and you know the validity of an authentic collection of that consensus is difficult in many ways. But yeah, it's the way that they would approach it. How if you were at the helm of a game and they literally tasked you with the question, like, what do these gamers want? Like, how would you go about that?
I mean, this really reminds me of like the guy who has like a 7 or an 8 girlfriend and he's like chasing the 10. You know what I mean? It's like that's kind of what it reminds me. Like, just see what you got, like work with what you got, and then like just expand on it. Make everyone formal at the thing that you got cooking with the people that you got cooking, right? And then people are like, oh, what's going on over there? What is that? And
no. I see. I'm with you. I don't like the analogy. I'm gonna just be straight up, because 7 or 8, we ain't cutting it. But like, I see what you're saying. Yeah, I see what you're saying. But 100%. If you actually, and I think that's like that stance has actually been made by Ronin. I'm loosely remembering the text and the context of where that was delivered, but it was about like, and Psycho, you've said this on a Ronin Radio space before, of like, you want projects and teams and developers to come here who are going to put the community first, right? And I think if you do have a successful project, game experience, and then community and culture from that, that's what causes the FOMO for the 7 or 8 in your analogy, Theben, is what I'm understanding. So if a project does come here, they harness the current users, they understand, you know, what they would want from an application, and they kind of deliver on that. The elation.
What's possible. I think you need to show people that, you know, this is like, if you go back to the earlier sales that we had, like even with CyberKongs and like, you guys have no idea probably how important it was, or maybe you remember like that these things sell out so that we can create like a wealth effect or a real sales pitch basically to other developers that they're going to work with us. Because, you know, if things don't sell out, or if like there is no demand, then why would people want to deploy on Ronin, right? What is the purpose? Then we're just like another chain that has to pay for every single developer to do anything, right? So there has to be like product market fit, in the sense that there is a community here of people who actually care. And if there isn't, then why are we even playing, right? Then we just have to start and go back and actually make the more solid products ourselves that people care about, right? So I oftentimes think about like the community and the that part of Ronin as like maybe the strongest, because it is so present, and it's like not dependent on the products that we make. And, you know, Ronin can still succeed to an extent even without Sky Mavis today. Because there are other builders here too. And I think like in the coming years, it's just going to be more and more, because like, and that's the way it has to be if we're going to become as big as we can be.
Absolutely. Well, Psycho, I greatly appreciate you coming through and spending this time. You know, this is the downtime in somewhat in your day.
Before I head out, did you guys like the Ronin Town Hall? Anything we should be improving on, or that we forgot to talk about?
Yeah,
I will say.
Go ahead, you first.
I'm gonna fucking meme, aren't I? But I just put a Ronki in there instead of a Jin. That's all.
Yeah, I'll say I was there the whole time. I liked it a lot because I felt like Like you guys were getting a temp check, and we were getting to see you guys
Yeah.
talking, like, and being very frank and honest about everything, and like that. I feel the connection, right, will start from there, right, with the community again, and like just starting as if like we're back from zero and just build our way up. It's such a nice way to like build that momentum, and I truly enjoyed it. I would love to see more of that. I don't know what you guys got that plan for, like monthly or bi-weekly, whatever it may be. I think it's fun. I think there could be a lot could be talked about. You could talk about like how you think the macro stuff is going. We're always interested to hear your
Yeah.
thoughts, right?
Yeah.
You, Jeff, like just the way that you guys think, especially you, because I can tell that, like, you know, you got a very strategic mind in how you think about things and how you want to execute things. So like being open with the community, I feel gives them more confidence as well, and that will then naturally let them go into battle with like the correct set of data and weapons that they would need to
So
online.
There's nothing worse than founders or like projects having missing founders. So, you know, the I guess the relative, you become relatable, and the fact that you mentioned, you know, even it felt like beginning Axie times, but just that you can be there, be candid, you know, and even share your own personal experiences with people who are, you know, like believing in that same vision, is definitely valuable. So I just think that the appearance every now and then is like, you know, refreshing for the community to be like, okay, you know, our founders are here. This is what they've been doing. You know, they let us know how they've been feeling about the situation. And then even, you know, you guys, you have to tackle tough questions and tough scenarios as well, which I think shows, you know, a level of bravery as well. But willing to be honest with the community is massive. It's a huge trust factor for this community, in my opinion. So that's what I appreciated the most from it.
Yeah, I mean, so I think it's tough, right, to find the appropriate amount of information to share, because there is like a lot of asymmetrical information at play that, you know, we actually can't share because deals are in the making. Some things work, some things don't. You know, I am in favor of being as transparent as possible, but at the same time, you know, our competitors are also looking. I think there is, you know, some things that can be said in the face-to-face scenario, in a room, or in a smaller environment, which I'm in more favor of sometimes. We can talk more transparently about things, but definitely like would not be sharing too much like super private stuff. But I want to share as much as we can, just because I think that it's important to show people, like, as I said, like how we think about the market, because we have been here for a long time, right? I mean,
Yeah.
there is something to be said, like who should you be listening to, right? Some dude who's on Twitter clowning like some random PFP page, like who could be short our tokens for all we know, or actually the people who have been in the industry for like 7-8 years and probably made a lot of money and like made things, good things and bad things, right? You know, these are, it's important to have those conversations, I would say, to be able to just share our takes on it. Sometimes it gets quite tiring though, because, you know, no matter what you say, it's like, oh, what about that? What about this? Some kind of fucking idiot is there to, like, it's, you know, you can never please everyone, right? So
Yeah.
that's a little bit on the annoying side, but I mean, that's community, right? That's okay. Like, because someone's always coming in later and they need to be educated and they need to learn, and, you know, we can't really fault them for that either, right? So we have to be mature in the sense than how we communicate and how we, you know, share the information, right? So that's
you
how I
know
think
what it
about
is. I think like one of Axie's biggest success was like your warriors from like 2018, right? 2018, 2019, 2020. Like these guys really stuck it out and like really went to war with everybody, and they had their
Who
bread,
would you
right?
say
When
that is?
well, whoever was there to support, like Free, Coco, like even online, like even Kagi with his videos from like the early days, right? Like Elijah came in late, but he was still there. Like all these guys were like rewarded in the end, and like I felt a lot of them work close with you guys, right? Through their support and so on. What I mean is like maybe what we need is a new set of warriors, right? Like a
I
new
mean,
type
that's
of
you
like
guys. I mean, so
yeah,
the good
yeah,
thing is, we're now at freaking not ground zero, but if you look at the price of Ronin,
pretty close.
like it's
pretty
close to the bottom, last year's
yeah.
bottom, which was 20 cents. Like, did I think we would? Oh shit, he fell out.
Yeah, someone tried to slay one of our warriors real quick. He should be able to join back. It's an open link. But you can continue the point and
yeah, he'll find it, right? So
yeah.
Would I have imagined that we would go back down to 20 cents after
got kicked out?
Sorry. So what I was saying is like, did I imagine that we would go back to 50 cents after being at 4? The answer is no. So it's like at one point I'm like, okay, great. Like no more people can buy at a lower price. At a lower point, I'm like, fuck me. I thought we were, beyond this a long time ago. But
life, but what I mean is like, I think if ever, now is really like what you asked about the town hall and everything. Now is really the time to like get that connection building again, and we start the snowball, right? Let's fucking run it back turbo. I legit like I watch charts and everything. I legit think this week, next week, whatever, we are gonna run it back. You know, I see.
Yeah, if you go and see my tweet, what I wrote is who wants to sell the bottom and buy whatever. Like that was the bottom. It feels like I was like 46 cents or something. But we'll see. Like I don't really care. I don't. That was not like financial advice because it's obviously not what I tweet about. But it's interesting to see. Like I don't often tweet like that. I felt like we're definitely this is not how it should be. I felt like.
No, that makes sense. I mean, we don't know why people sell, right? People are capitulating for whatever reasons that they may have. Maybe they have positions open that they need to collateralize for, and they're like getting rid of other things to make it happen, whatever it may be. But again, amazing opportunity for our new set of warriors to come in. And we still, even though it's open Ronin, I think everybody does still see you, Jeff, as Trong as like our leaders, are like
in the field.
Our chieftains,
we are, of course, right? I mean, exactly.
I
mean, we're not going anywhere. We're still here to fucking fight the good fight. Like, I don't really see that as being.
That's why I like the town hall, right? That's what I'm saying. Like, that's why I enjoyed it. I liked it. I showed up because like I was like, I want to hear what they're saying, and that was an amazing first one, and would love to hear more from it. And I have one last question before I let you go. I know you're mad tired. You've been talking for like 3 hours or whatever it may be.
Actually, I'm okay. I'm good now, so don't worry. But I have another meeting soon, so I have to leave, and I have some work to do. So
right. Yeah. Okay. One last question. Okay. What will it take, or when are you gonna change your PFP to a Ronke?
There's the question.
I actually don't.
When will the plane land?
I don't think I will, because I don't want to be. I'm trying not to be too
an advocate, essentially,
favorable to any sort of project or anything like that.
Don't do that. Give us something. Give us some goal.
No, I don't think I would do that. No, I doubt that I would do that actually. So I mean, I don't have any specific. Yes, I'm
all right.
I'm gonna head off. Have a good.
Thank you.
Appreciate you. Thank you, Psycho.
Have a good day, bro. See ya.
Dope. Yeah. Hey, no. And I fuck with Psycho because he's just straight. Like he's straight up, bro.
He's straight.
That's
the thing. He's straight. I don't bullshit with him. I tell him as it is. You know what I mean? Like, and that's how it is. Like he's. You could tell like he's very like they're very different. All the founders are really different, right?
But that's what makes it, to be honest, right? Like
Like Jeff for me is more like he's got that spiritual. Like they're all super intelligent, but they're different. Like Jeff got that spiritual aura going. Like Gio's like he really believes in like the energy and like how it's super important. Like let's just stay positive and let's get the hell through this. Psycho is very like methodical, right? With like his moves and what he does. Like he knows like, okay, I got to make my calculations here. This is what is going to work. This is what's not going to work, right? Like you could see the difference in their characters and why like they were able to get this far to begin with.
Yeah, for real. I mean, the town hall is good just for that I don't know what word I was trying to grasp. I was looking up here, I was thinking the fucking word, but where you can like touch them, you know what I'm saying? So you make like it's real, is important for that aspect, because there's a ton of projects out here that like CEOs or founders or whatever are just absolutely either one, not doxed, two, are just not present. Look at that, the beautiful Filipino beam coming through with the word tangible. Not touchable. I'm fucking supposed to be
Touchable.
English. Yo, bro, pause on that, bro. We haven't had enough degeneracy, bro. We've been serious, brothers. But no, I do think it is important for those things. You're right though, bro. It's time, bro. It's time for a new legion of warriors to kind of carry this fight forward. And something I was thinking about is like, who would you coin as those warriors? I think that could be an interesting conversation. But we do have some stuff to do today. As on top of that, some goals we want to achieve here on the Ronin Radio today. Shout out to everyone that's pulled through, over 500 of you, actually touching 600 at the moment. And shout out to everyone that reposted the stream, because that comes through on the chat as well. So I appreciate you guys. Spliffy Magoo, I will say this. I actually want you to come on the show. You can just put a PFP here. You don't have to have your cam on. But I want you to come out. I want you to come out on the show. I feel like you need open Ronin Radio therapy session, bro. I genuinely, and I want you to spew all of your food. Like, I think
I gotta know from him too. What is his average buy price, right? Then
yeah, well,
like
Spliffy
no
Magoo.
Underwater.
Spliffy Magoo is gonna have to be a guest at some point, bro. And I don't I don't know how I'll force you.
Or maybe you can write it in chat, and then
no. Spliffy's been writing in chat for fucking 3 weeks, 4 weeks, bro.
Oh, I just don't. Wait, which is it on Twitter? Twitter chat?
Yeah, well, bro, if you just keep the StreamYard open, the comments section is just constantly.
Oh, I never even seen that. Oh my god!
We've been on this application, ladies. We've been on this application for over a month now. So this is your legendary gamer right here. Just min-maxing the fuck out of websites.
If Ronin or Skymane is hired or onboarded, then your PewDiePie will have no. It won't.
No.
Listen. People only care about crypto and Web3 and only if they want to care about it.
Mm-hmm.
You understand? They need to see it and FOMO in on their own. You cannot recruit them.
Yeah.
It doesn't work.
I mean, viewers, like, if you've been watching PewDiePie or whatever, I don't know who the fuck is watching PewDiePie at this point, but like, if you've been watching a YouTuber for a long time and then suddenly content just completely changes and is like, this is a sponsored video, you largely don't give a fuck because you're like, and then you probably put in the comments, don't do that again. You know what I mean? So like, I don't think those direct shills to like large influencers actually have the tractionable turnover as people think they might. They might have an impression basis, but it's still down to like the user and then what's on the other end of that deal to close it, So it's I think you're right, Theban. The approach that should be taken is, how fucking fantastic can we make it for the people that already have shown their hand, that care or have some kind of interest in this industry.
Yeah, I mean, everyone is building for this thing of mass adoption, and I'm like, I realized over the last year,
it's retarded, bro. It's actually retarded.
Not only is it retarded, it's like you're neglecting the people you already have.
Yeah.
And 2, you're just setting yourself up for failure, right? Because you're having expectations, right? And we know that having expectations is like one of the biggest downfalls of like people, right? Like, if you're building, imagine the amount of ego you have to like go all in and build for like 2 years and thinking that like in 2 years this is how you're going to get out of underwater, because like you just expect it to be at this place, right? With no like nothing is guaranteed. I mean, you can start a business tomorrow, the likelihood of you failing is 90%. We already know that, right? But if people still start a business, right? It doesn't mean that they're right or wrong to do it, right? It's more so about like who does the calculations the best, who accounts for those things the best, who understands that there's a product that people actually want. Man, most of these games people have made right now, it's like they made it for themselves or they made it for an audience that they don't even understand.
They don't even have, right?
Right? They don't even have that audience, but they made a game for them. And it's like, oh yeah, come and play this. Why? They're like, why? Your game just has more hurdles. Crypto, these wallets are just more hurdles for now, right? Yeah. But if you make a game for the community that you already have, and you make other people start asking, oh, what is that? why are people playing that? Okay, how do I play that? And then you start building true believers.
Yeah. Okay. Well, yes. No, you are right. I think a lot of teams need to hear this, but we're gonna do an interjection right here because talking about building for a community that is known. Bam! If you didn't get involved, you should have got involved. It's not over yet. You still have a chance. There are 3 mint whitelists right now going out on the Ronin Radio X account. They are for the Ronin Fight Club. And today I have a good friend of mine who's been an OG about the space for a while, Alpha himself, founder of the Ronin Fight Club. And he's here to talk to you guys today about what these whitelists are, the NFTs behind the whitelists actually are, and the vision behind that. And yeah, like I think this is a big stance to make from someone who's founded something. Doxing is a large factor, but then also to be here to give the spiel to you guys directly. I appreciate you for making the time and coming through. But without further ado, bro, I'm going to pass the floor over to you, brother. And you could talk to us about Ronin Fight Club, the mint that is upcoming, and overall, the vision for the project from yourself. So welcome to the stage, everybody. Alpha. What's good, bro? Oh, you're muted. You're still muted, brother. There we go.
Hi, everyone. Thank you for the amazing introduction, Gila. GM, everyone. I'm really happy to be here and really happy to share the stage with legends like T-Man. I want to extend a massive thank you to Gila, first of all. Truly legend for making this happen. Your unwavering support for the Ronin network and the space is just amazing. Sometimes I'm asking myself, what can we do without Gila in the space? I'm not.
Oh, you can do a lot. Don't put me there, bro. Don't put me on that pedestal. They can do a lot without my dumbass. But at the same time, I'm happy to be here, bro.
Yeah. So thanks again for the opportunity. So today I'm here. I want to talk about Ronin Fight Club. It's actually the project I'm building on Ronin. I want to share that I started this journey when I received a DM from the amazing Hantao himself. So he was explaining about the Tama meme and, the effect that it can bring to the Ronin network. And it took me 5 minutes to decide that I want to launch my project that I'm building since 2021 on the Ronin chain. So I took this initiative, I launched the token, and surprisingly, the token bonded under 8 minutes. So this made me happy, and it stayed in the top 10 for almost a week. So these things really made me happy and made me really work on getting things even better. Hi.
There's a future holder right there.
Yeah, future champion, you mean, yeah?
Yeah. But no, continue, bro. I think the people want to know what Ronin Fight Club is. I mean, you're talking about the idea. It came on Tama.meme. The what do you call it, bonding, right? The bonding happened pretty fast, which is a huge voucher of support. Having been in that scenario as well, it's pretty crazy when that stuff does happen. Exactly, and it kind of set the tone for everything that you can build now. So I think let's let them know what Ronin Fight Club is from your vision and what are the rails being put in place to get there.
Sure. Well, first of all, Ronin Fight Club is going to be a game on Ronin Network. And as the name describes, it's going to be a combat sport. The only difference here is, during the first spaces, I made it clear that we're not trying to build a AAA game because AAA games take a lot of time, a lot of expenses. We need to raise funds. So the purpose is have a fun mini Web3 game, a PvE and PvP, where you can use those Mofo NFTs and compete. Of course, it's going to be a very fun and simple game because as a creator myself and as a content creator, I've been doing content for many projects, and I've noticed that all these people align on one thing, that they must find a balance between, it's actually cute, find a balance between, the play to earn model and also the aspect of just having fun. Because if it's just about earning and it's not fun, people are going to get bored and just abandon the game. So that's when I decided to actually bring the idea to Ronin Network, but it's a concept that we've been building since a long time. I think, Gila, you're already aware. I showed you this collection back in March 2023. And it was just like the beginning, and you say that they were cool. And now, thankfully, we have added more than 400 hand-drawn trades from different collections. So actually, we started with projects from Running Chain. We added too many good trades from Ronke, Cyberkongs, Moku, Ronin Radio, etc., etc. And at the same time, we also expanded to other communities and networks. So, for example, you can find Solana hats, Solana t-shirts, Arbitrum, ZK Sync. So we actually trying to bring everyone together in the same project under the Running Network roof. So, at the beginning, a lot of people asked me, why are you not reaching out to Coco or G-Host to help you out? I was like, look, guys, these guys are really like here, right? And I'm not trying to just beg in their DMs for them to help me. So I need to start working, put in the hard work, and maybe through this, I'm going to inspire them and they will finally help me in my journey. And I think it's the case because at the beginning it was slow, and then I start receiving DMs from really OGs in the running space, and they're supporting the project, and it made me just believe in the thing and just go further. So without further ado, Running Fight Club, the utilities we have, everything that we have done until now. So for the people that are not familiar with Running Fight Club, you can just go to our page. Oh, thank you, Gilla. You already shared the graph vision. So this graph vision actually is, if you want, the summary of the pitch deck, and it shows how the holders can earn from holding the token. The first thing that we came up with is a concept that I've never seen in any chain. Of course, it got criticized, but I answered all these people and told them why our concept is good. It's called connectless staking app. So the idea here is it's a staking protocol, but you don't have to connect your wallet, so there is no risk to get drained or lose assets, And the only thing that you have to do is actually hold the token. At the beginning, it was at $100. Now it's only $50, and we're going to change that, of course. And if you hold that token, it doesn't depend on the time, on how much you hold, but how long you hold. And actually, the connectless staking app started the first day our token was launched, and it's rewarding people until this day. It's sending rewards every 3, 4, 5 hours. And one of the questions, very sharp questions that I got, was from one of the builders in Running Chain, and he told me, how are you going to sustain these rewards? Because the connectless staking app, even though it's amazing, it needs you to keep putting money in, because it's a centralized app. It's not decentralized. So actually, we have done this through our mint. So just to explain the mint quickly, a breakdown, we have decided that the mint is going to be 60% RON and 40% RFC. The 60% RON, the purpose of it is to pay the game studio. Talking about the game studio, we're in talks.
Is this going to be on Ronin Market? Sorry.
Yes, actually, this is the dream. I'm not going to launch it anywhere else if it's not Smart. So I already got the link, and I know the people that are in charge. The only reason why I didn't apply yet is because we've been adding some one-on-ones and community traits at the last minute. So I still did not generate the final collection. So I don't want to start the process, without being fully equipped. But I promised the community that it's something we're gonna be doing this week, and the mint is planned for the month of May. Just to continue the explanation about the mint breakdown, so the 60% is going to Narsen Studios. Narsen Studios are a very reputable studio from Pakistan. They have also high quarter in the US, in Arabia Saudi, and in Dubai. So if you go to narsenstudios.com, you're going to see all the products they've been working with, the big brands like Chevrolet, NBA, NFL. So it's really a big game studio, and I'm very bullish about it. Until this time, I'm still in talks with them. So just to give you an update on the gaming front, actually, we already have a preliminary GDD. So a GDD is a game design document, right? This GDD has the backstories of the characters in our game. It has also the project IP in it. It explains also, tell me if I'm giving a lot of alpha at once, Skilla. I don't want to be.
Yeah, I'll be straight with you, alphas. It's my bro. I know we live on show and everything, but it's like I can tell that you have a lot that you want to communicate across. And I think right now the conciseness of what the fuck is about to go down in May is important, because just give them the FOMO to be a part of the mint. Like I understand 100%. I'm like, if you read this infographic, you can go and do your min maxing and understand, how is this really working. But
Yeah.
at the end of the day, an NFT is coming. This NFT is instrumental to the game. What is the game? And when is the mint, and when does the game begin? Like I think that's what people want to know right now. And then you can let them find out those details through your mediums that you put out there, right?
Sure. So the mint is going to happen next month, 100%. So we already equipped. We are ready. We're just going to apply and pray that we get accepted. And then the game is going to be available 5 to 6 months post mint. This means if we mint in May, let's say September, we're going to have a playable PvP playtest. But we are also working on a PvE model that you guys can play with in like 3 or 4 months, something that we're going to be able to deliver sooner. So let's say for the PvE, 4 months, 5 months, and for the playable game PvP, let's say 6 months to have our final product. And of course, this is going to be a contract. We're going to sign a contract with everything, clauses, and I've already discussed with the game studio. They promised and they said that they already created games like that and they can make it happen in this time frame. Now, quickly, just to explain as a holder, most of the projects, they have burn-in mechanisms, right? They burn their token, they hype their project, but this burn-in mechanisms, as we said before, I think they're not really the solution that Web3 needs. So in that case, what we have done with RFC is instead of burning the 40% that we allocated for the mint, we are going to send 25% of it to the Connectless staking app. So this answers the dev who told me, how are you going to make this sustainable? So actually, we're just going to take 25% of the mint, money from the holders that mints, and send it back to the holders through the Connectless staking app. This is going to be sustainable for at least 6 months, and this gives us a lot of time to work on other utilities that can bring value to the holders. Now, another utility of being a holder of our NFT is that it's not only game related, it also opens doors for you as a KOL. So it means if you're a content creator, I am also the owner of AGDAO Labs, and we already have a lot of good deals with many projects, Web3 games, and we bring those creator campaigns to our creators. Sometimes it's just $500, sometimes it's $10,000, and it depends. So if you're holding one of these NFTs, it opens the door for you to be eligible for these campaigns. So if you have a good X account, you're a DGen, and you like creating content around the games that you play, you can use that with our NFTs, and just like have dynamic income coming from different sources. So that was about the Connectless staking app. I talked about the mint. Now I'm just going to quickly talk about our AI agent. I think that you guys already noticed Mofo AI. It's going crazy. Mm-hmm. It's tagging, it's retweeting, it's talking about Web3 topics. And actually something else that we want to bring to our AI agent that we have not seen in other platforms, we want to connect it to our Connectless staking app. This way, the bot is going to actually snipe everyone who engages with the Ronin network, who engages with Ronin Radio, for example, who engages with Ronin Fight Club, who's even using our PFP. And then they're going to be sending them RFC rewards in real time. So this is actually a very interesting utility that we're working on, and it's going to see the day the next coming days. So
what about people outside of Ronin? Like you guys also, does it also try to target that? Because that's also something that could be very helpful.
Yeah, well, it's saying traits as well, like broader traits for the actual NFT itself, Solana shirts, those types of things, fandom outside of Ronin does kind of tie in there for sure.
Thank you for
the game, bro. The game. Yeah. I'm looking at Narsen Studios right now. You know, I'm gonna share the Narsen Studios that I'm looking at because they got a pretty little website. So I think this little pretty little thing should get shown real quick. But well, they've actually made quite a lot of stuff. Yeah, they've made quite a lot of stuff. They have some like real big names in terms of people that they've essentially potentially worked for, allegedly worked for. I don't know. We have to do deeper diving, but their capability looks pretty damn good. So in terms of a game, that's what's making me think right now, like, okay, what does RFC the game look like? Because ultimately for me, Some DJs will buy the NFT because there is some kind of financial utility for them, right? Some people will buy an NFT because the game is something they want to play, and if it's the key to entry, they're going to buy the NFT. So, like for me, I'm one of those, right? If the NFT is the way into the game and I like the game, I will purchase the NFT, and you don't really have to sell me too heavily on anything else. So, what is the game, RFC?
So the game, as I said, is going to be a combat sport game in a kind of octagon where you send your fighter in the PvE against many other fighters, right? And then the only one standing is the one who's getting the best reward. Of course, there's going to be a leaderboard, and the reward is going to be shared between all these players. So this is the first mode. It's going to be a PvE. Just imagine One Piece in the Alabama. No, wait, which arc is that? That was in Dressrosa, right? The arena with the water, right? So if anyone like falls on the water, they die, there's a shark or something, things like that. So actually, this is the PvE mode that we're going to have. There's going to be a lot of fun fatalities, just like Mortal Kombat, but this time with some funny modes that you guys are going to love. And also a PvP that we're going to have, of course. PvP is going to look more like a Street Fighter kind of game. So you just have another fighter in front of you, and you have... So let me explain. Our game have 5 game characters, right? And I want to say that our 5th game character is fucking Ronke. So this is just amazing. Did you hear that, Gilla?
Yeah, I'm hearing you.
Ronke fighter, cool.
Ronke wants to be in a fighting game so fucking bad.
Did Sushi help you with that too? Did Sushi part help you with you guys?
I sent a message to Sushi. He was very kind, and he actually told me to DM the Ronke admin page, and I think I ended up talking with Abra, which is also someone I know, and he's a great guy. So yeah, we've allocated actually 200 free mints for the Ronke community just because they are so amazing. Wow. And this is not the only thing. Every Ronke NFT holder is automatically eligible to mint. Yeah. Okay. So this is like the only collection that has this perk. And I mean, I'm a Ronke myself. I have some Ronkes that I love. You know, you need to support we need to support each other, right? Yeah. Either it is Ronke or RFC or Valhalla or Goku. I think we're all builders in the Ronin, network. And I want to come back to a question you asked me, T-Man. This is something we shared in most of our first podcasts. Our goal is not to get the support from the existing Ronin community. It doesn't make sense. So what we're trying is to expand to other communities, and that's why we added those traits actually from Arbitrum, ZK Sync, and Solana. And we're actually in talks with cabals from these communities trying to bring them to Ronin, because it's going to be a win for us and also a win for Ronin, right? And this is what we want to see at the end of the day.
I like it.
Last thing about the game, and I'm done with the game in front. So I said we have 5 game characters, right? Ronke is one of them. Each character is going to have 3 combos, right? You play Street Fighter, you play King of Fighters, you already know that each character has their own combos, right? And then there's going to be 2 special abilities, right? And 2 fatalities. Those fatalities are going to be like Mortal Kombat. We're working with another studio because it's going to be animations, nothing to have with the combos. It's not technical. So yeah. Anything else I missed, Gilla? Please let me know.
No, bro. We got it. May is the month that the mint will be going down. And of course, like we said, if you go to the X account right now, you'll be able to be entered into the 50 whitelist. And this whitelist is a guaranteed mint. It's a free mint from the Ronin Radio. Of course, if you're a Ronke, you've already heard, you have access to minting the RFC NFT next month. Lots of traits to get involved with. Maybe other communities coming involved. A game, let's say 6 months down the line, maybe a little bit early in terms of like having to wait. The contactless staking is in the middle of that. And of course, the funds made from the mint itself will be repurposed in that staking protocol. So a lot of cool things to look at here. I think, to be honest, at this point, Alpha, you basically just direct those that are listening right now, anybody that is interested, where would they go? Can they join a Discord so that you can, because you clearly have a lot of passion about this, bro, for sure. And that's a good thing. And then I stand for like elevating community that want to do stuff and are out here doing stuff. Like, yeah, cool, you're a community member, but you're sitting on your fucking finger at home having a wank and not making anything, whereas like some community members are out here doing the business. So I'll always support you guys. But yeah, anywhere that they can go to continue to be involved in the process and find out more information, I think that's where we'll end the segment on.
Definitely. Thank you again, Gila, for this amazing, radio episode. Thank you, T-Ban, as well. Actually, for people who wants to stay in the loop, you can join our Discord. It's easy. Discord.gg/AGDAO. You can find this in my bio as well. And feel free to DM me, even though like I have a lot of things to do. I always answer people, and I think this is the best way, like networking and being nice with the community. There's one thing that I didn't say at the beginning. Maybe Gila covered that part. I'm doxxed, as you can see. You can see my face. I'm KYC since 2023 to Sky Mavis, and I also locked 50% of RFC for 6 months. And the amazing part is I haven't sold one single token since this all started. You can go on blockchain and check it. It's not about selling tokens. It's about creating something for the long term. And, RFC is here to stay. And you're welcome. If you're actually loving the concept, you're going to be welcomed in our community, and we're going to answer all your questions. Thank you once again, Gila.
Absolutely, bro. Much love, bro. Appreciate you. Let's fucking go, though. Yo, listen, ladies and gentlemen, bro. It's a time to be alive. I believe we should support, communities or community members that are out here putting in work, right? They're doing stuff. So, 100%. Shout out to Alpha for coming through. But like I said, that free whitelist is available on the X account right now, and the wrong keys, you got a lot of advantages. So let's see what happens over the next few months, and how things go. But yeah, man, I love it though. I love it because there's a ton of passion, right? There's a ton of passion there. But it was like, I mean, Alpha could have sat here and we could have done a fucking 3-hour podcast on I could have found out everything about Alpha's life up to the point of decision where he thought RFC, and then everything about RFC. I would have
been very happy to talk about it too.
To do that, yeah. But I mean, at the end of the day, this is the Ronin Radio, so we are trying.
Right.
Yeah, the Ronin Radio. We're trying that. You know what I mean? This, Theban. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
This. I don't want downtime. You know what I mean? Like at the end of the day, go and follow RFC on X and social media if you are completely interested. You want to get involved. There is many avenues to stay in tune with that. But yeah, man, where the fuck were we at? Because my brain is a little scattered right now. I'm excited about the what has happened today. I'll be honest. I think the best point to go towards now. I mean, if we look at it on the week, the last 7 days, Bitcoin up about 10%, similar, Ethereum up about 10%, AXS up 13%, and RON itself up 11%. I know that's not going to be a massive, because it's still, 50 something cents and whatnot. But we spoke about this last week, and we spoke about it the week before, that this would be at the end of month, the month of May, if macros allow, would be a fucking tremendous period of opportunity.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. And I think we're starting to see that what you explained as like the slow curve back. We're starting to see that.
Yeah, I mean, dude, I've been tweeting about this for like weeks now. I've been saying exactly how this is gonna be. When we were all red, I was like, guys, just don't look for one more week. That's all you need. One more week, guys.
Just hold on one more.
And guess what? Just don't look at charts this week. Come back next week. Guess what? Come back this week. Everything's looking mighty green, right? Like for the most part. Now, that doesn't mean the coin that you're holding is gonna be green.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's just be clear. The one that Bitcoin is doing good, and I think it's gonna do well over like the coming months and so on. Macro starting to look better. Tariffs are priced in. All the paper hands got flushed out and whatever. As for Ron and Ronin, we just gotta have patience, man. With that, there's nothing else to it. Just gotta have patience and just try to just ride the wave and just see what happens. Let's not think too much and let's just do our best to and hope for the best. I mean, you heard what Saika said, right? They can't control who sells, and whatever happened, like going to 47 cents and seeing how like Ron was suppressed during that time when some of the other stuff was moving, it made me really think like, okay, yeah, someone is actually blowing up here. That's how I feel, and selling at that price was ridiculous. So if we see it again and it bounces from there, oh, then you already know like where the real support is. And I think like if gaming sentiment ever comes back and Ron's this cheap, I think there's a very good chance like it's just gaming sentiment all around is just down. That's it.
Yeah, facts. I'm not here to like sell shame or anything, but like, I mean, I put myself in the box too. But at like $4 something, right? I'm a fucking idiot for not selling, stabilizing, and staying the course. Like my vision alignment, my work ethic alignment, and all the things that I'm trying to do could stay in that position. But I'm an idiot if I didn't sell at certain and like, understanding this industry and being in this industry. And although the round trip is fucking painful, I think right now, if you can afford, right, to not sell and you sell, it's like 5 times more retarded than not selling at another opportunity. Like, that's just kind of where I'm at right now. It's like, okay, well, yes, Cry Me a River, we're all adults, supposedly, allegedly, shout out to Indes. But like, you know what I mean? Like, to consider the worst now, and the decision to actually like say, you know what, I'm gonna take this L on the chin. It would hurt a lot more, and I just think it would be the dumber of the two decisions.
Well, you have to ask yourself, right? What hurts more? Is it, or what gives you more pain, right? Being underwater, or feeling like it took off without you? Right?
The takeoff, bro. Because then
so that's what you gotta know, right? So if like you gotta know what type of person that you are, right? If the feeling is like being underwater hurts more, then just sell, because then at that point you free yourself and your mind from that pain. Okay, like you being underwater, okay, whatever, just get out.
I'll be honest though. I want to be honest here, because I think this is really fucking important to be candid around. I don't feel pain.
No, that's okay with you, but I feel like for the general people.
But I'm explaining why I don't feel pain.
Go ahead.
I didn't over leverage.
That's true too.
Right?
But not everyone's
or
like
over
that.
allocate.
Some people could be down $10 and they'll be like in pain. You know what I mean? Like they're just like that. Some people you just don't know people's circumstances, right? Like, okay, maybe it is over leverage, in percentage based to like what their circumstances are, but it just be, right? But what I mean is, like, if you're in pain, you gotta think about why, right? Like, what is it that causing you pain? Because if it's just being underwater, then okay, then free yourself, just get out, and just like call it like your lesson, right? That's your lesson that you received, and now you're gonna get better from it. If number two is it's gonna take off without you, that's why, then just ride it out, right? Just send it to zero, whatever. There's people like that too. Those are some investors are like that, So that's pretty much why you gotta do it. But like just sitting there and being in pain every day is just not worth it.
Yeah, like go outside. Some shit. I don't know, but it's just, I'm not in the position of where like I'm hugely over leveraged. Like there's a lot of shit depending on, the price of Ron being greater than it is today. And I think that allows me to be, I try and put myself in that position.
Yeah.
But, I can't fabricate that, because at the end of the day, like, when Ron was these prices the last time around, I was dick broke anyway, bro. So like, it wasn't as if, I hugely leveraged the position, put everything I had into things at that moment in time, and it was like a steady acquisition, through work and effort in this arena, right? So but I understand for sure. If you came a few years ago and you took a lot of your crypto funds that maybe were in other areas of crypto that could have performed better for you, then I can understand why you would be feeling pretty fucking hard done by. But on top of that, I think if you were to have the reaction of, oh, fuck this, why did I hold? This is a dumb decision. Let me just get out now, without like truly understanding and ingesting the conversation that happened today. And like I think a lot, like it does easily get palmed off and overlooked, but the truest thing is it is that it's just fundamentally the thing that you made the gamble on, if it were 2 years ago, is fundamentally better today. I don't understand the worry.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like there's so much beyond that in terms of like yeah, you know, we know what this industry is, a lot of us, and there's more things to worry about, but just generally, if you were to make the same bet today, arguably it's a better bet anyway.
Yeah, I think so.
Right.
I think so. I think the last time the best buy to buy before was like pretty much at 20 cents, right? From like a couple years ago, and now it's like.
And there was a pause around these prices, around 40, 45 cents.
Yeah, yeah. And if we go back to all-time highs, it's still at 10x, right? Like that's kind of good.
That's a cook. Fair.
Yeah, it's a cook. And there's more money in the world now, right? The only thing that's different is like there's more tokens out there too. There's more competition for the attention, right? It's just a matter of like you knowing whether, okay, are you getting the bottom? And also, will the narrative come back to gaming? And the answer to that question, I mean, you have to think about it, but I feel like that would, in theory, be a pretty good bet that the narrative will come back to gaming eventually.
Yeah. Oh, bro, one Spliffy would be on the show, bro, because you put these questions in the chat, and there would just be great conversations to have here. Because you're saying 1 year ago, Ronin was top 3 in users in terms of just blockchains on this planet. Right now, it's bleeding users like the Hindenburg.
But that's not. But you got it. Yeah, go ahead. You go first.
For me, okay. So here's a relativity point, right?
Yeah.
A year ago, taking the entire scale of users on blockchain, and I bet you the entire scale of users on blockchain today is a percentage reduction that probably reflects the reduction in Ronin as well, in terms of the amount that has reduced off of the top when we were in the top 3 users, right? How many people have the number of users a year ago, right? So the number of users today, the percentage difference in that, I think would be reflected if you were to take the entire market, right? And see the percentage reduction from last year to this year, because the market's in a lull as well. It's not a specification to Ronin's performance or Ronin's value or Ronin's bull case. I think it's a macro element, and I know that these are important metrics, but metrics are we're in an industry right now where the metrics don't even directly allocate value. They give people a reason to scream and shout about something and to push a narrative, but the data itself, the metrics itself, they don't actually reflect direct value, because we've just not reached the identification of that yet, in my opinion. So like, yes, you can look at these metrics and whatnot, but there's always a bigger story, and it always has holes, right? So it's very difficult to have that, you know, to have metric points where you can be like, okay, well, if this metric is down, it is absolutely bad. But yeah, do fundamentals even matter anymore, or is it about mind share? Trevor says. I think fundamentals matter depending on how you're looking at it. If you're looking at it, does the fundamentals matter for my portfolio for a month from now?
Let me answer that question, right?
You know what? I, before you answer it, I wish we had like a fucking... Who's that geezer on TikTok that sits there in front of university crowds, and one by one people come up to the mic and talk their shit, and I would love that right now.
Okay, anyway, can I answer Spiffy Magoo's question, man? Okay, okay. So he said 1 year ago, Ronin was top 3 in users, is bleeding users like the Heidenberg. Okay, listen. 1 year ago, Web3 gaming had the most mind share of anything. Okay, crypto is an asset to be traded, not held. All right, which means that we are majority traders, like in the entirety of the space. Okay, and they go on speculation, they go on mindshare. So when all the mindshare came into Web3 gaming during 2024, everybody, all traders and other investors and everyone came in all at the same time, and they usually catch closer to the bottom. Maybe not 20 cents. They probably caught like somewhere on like a breakout, right? They see like technical analysis. They see like, okay, 50 cents, 60 cents. Oh, something is cooking here, right? Oh, it went to like $1.20. It came back down to 80, 60. Oh, it bounced off the trend line. That looks really nice. All right, time to swoop in. And then the narrative of gaming blew up. That's why a lot of people came in, because people came in because of FOMO and how these gaming coins were doing in general. Okay. Now, when that dies, when you see that trend line up there break and it starts, trickling downwards, right? The users also go away, because a lot of it came as investors. A lot of it came as opportunity seekers. Okay. Not here only because of fundamentals and like what you can do for the gaming industry or anything like that. That's just the nature of the place that we're in. Okay. So you can't blame the users declining on and the price declining and thinking like, oh, just the team is selling. A lot of people selling were outside money coming in because they felt like they could make a buck, and they did make a buck at the top, right? Sure, people get hurt, but even in stocks people get hurt. People buy tops all the time and sell the bottoms all the time, right? It's called retail, and that's where they get all their money from. All right, people who don't know these kind of things. So it is what it is, and we just have to like understand that there are gonna be cycles. Gaming cycle ended 2024. Gaming cycle might start up again now, or next month, or next year. You don't know when, but there will be cycles. And now it's not about the entire space is not just crypto space. There's different sectors now. There's AI sector, there's like gaming sector, there's like DeFi sector. There's gonna be all different kind of sectors, and every different kind of sector is gonna have a different bull run now. They're not gonna all be at the same time anymore.
Yeah. Where is the data shared for blockchain user volume? Is that a DeFi Llama thing? Someone put it in the chat, because I'll put it on the page. So I do want to look into it. So, what about Trevor's question? Fundamentals, do they matter, or is it about the mindshare? And Rare Stark, I'll give you a guess where he is. Actually, could be a funny little game you guys in the chat can play. Where is Stark? What is he doing? What was Stark's excuse for not being on the show today? But do fundamentals matter?
Who's Stark? Who's that guy?
We love Stark. He's our uncle. He's actually actually I won't reveal what he's doing, so you guys can keep guessing in the chat.
Okay.
That link, let me open it. Share this instead. Here we are. Ronin, market cap, okay, you wouldn't be there. Total value locked wouldn't be there. Trading volume wouldn't be there. Notional trading volume wouldn't be there. Asset stage wouldn't be there. Fees wouldn't be there. Revenue wouldn't be there. Earnings, treasury, net treasury, active users daily, not even in the top 10. Fair enough. What? This is bullshit though, because 6K, Ronin's not in this list. Are you joking me? We're having a laugh. You seen this, Steven?
What am I looking at? Sorry, I was looking at something else.
It's shared on the StreamYard. My total users. Right now, Ronin has 1.4 million active users monthly.
Uh-huh. Then who's ahead?
And we were third, where base is at 15 million right now. Ahead of us is Near Protocol, Ton, PancakeSwap, Unl Chain. I don't even know what the fuck that is. Arbitrum, Polygon, Ethereum, OpenBNB, Bitcoin, Aptos, Uniswap, Tron, Base, BNB Chain, and Solana.
Dude, I would literally never ever look at active users. If you're in this industry and you know the games these guys play, I would just never look at active users, period. Like it's not even like a metric that you can count. Like I trust active users here as much as I trust the Chinese yuan. Okay? All right? Like there's there's nothing to even look at here. Like if you told me that all of these had 1/100th of the user base, I'd believe you.
Yeah.
Of what it shows there, I'd believe you. But so yeah, so I wouldn't even look at it. Like I wouldn't even know what's real, what's not. It's just a bunch of fugazi shit here. Like it is what it is. Let's be real. this space, majority, if not all, is all about, okay, how like do we make a buck, right? The tech is new, the tech is yes, but every year that goes by, it's becoming more and more PvP because the the mass adoption is becoming rather more difficult, right? It's kind of like tapering off. So unless we have like a new catalyst, a new type of thing that can influence people to want to be like, okay, what is Bitcoin? What is this? It's gonna be tough, right? Like right now, I think a lot of money is flowing in because of like America and Trump and the idea of like, okay, ETF is here, which means we can trade this, trad markets can trade this, and they like anything that they can trade, right? What so yeah, it's I think that's what that is like most interesting, and that's where a lot of the current money's coming in. But then other than that, like we need something. We need something.
Yeah. We also have to look at it like this. It's something that I think about. Since last year, if you're gonna go from that as like the measuring stick, the implementation of bots and AI has dramatically increased. The access for people to understand how to create those has dramatically increased, and the opportunity for them with applications on Ronin arguably is dramatically more complex than it is for some of the protocols and applications that exist on a lot of these other chains. If it is simply a farming application where there is liquidity to be farmed, then of course, if I'm in charge of directing bots and AIs, that's target market, right? You're going to go for those opportunities, and you're going to heavily implement that technology and that facilitation in those fields and in those realms. I think the one thing you can look at here is if you were to say gaming blockchains, because again, we spoke about identity today with Ronin, and of course, yes, we are going open network and we are opening and expanding out into that DeFi realm as well. But if you were to go on the identification of gaming blockchains, what here in this list is actually ahead of Ronin with a direct identification of gaming? And now you could say Polygon, but again, Polygon have partnered with.
Wait, Polygon has games?
Exactly. This is what I'm trying to get at.
I mean, I'll look at that. I mean, Base maybe has something. Solana is just a casino, which is a game. Like what people don't. Okay, listen. What people don't understand is like meme coins is a game. Okay, trading is a game. All right, these are all games at the end of the day. Right? You could call it gambling, but gamblers and gamers are cut from the same fucking cloth. Literally. We're all a bunch of dopamine addicts. Okay? Yeah. That's why we're here. So so that's why we all also get pulled into the crypto, because we're all very similar in how we think and what we want to do. Yeah. Right?
Gaming is not even loading, by the way.
Yeah, so all those things that I see there, it doesn't really trigger anything for me. It doesn't be like, oh yeah, that's a gaming chain. This is not a gaming chain. This is who we're competing with. Blah 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 blah. Right? I'll tell you, everything is just down right now. There's a handful of things that people believe in and want to put their money into because they think it's gonna do the best when bull run resumes. Right? Other than that, they don't care about anything else. Legit, I'm telling you. The people who move these markets are market makers and whales. Okay, it's not the little guys who are buying little by little by little. We're insignificant in the grand scheme of how money flows in this industry. So again, just be patient. Wait for the narrative, right? And if you can see the narrative faster than the next person, you'll probably make a good buck. That's just the nature of the place that we're in.
Yeah. And also I would say if you're here just to make a buck, Ronin being your first point of call to do that is probably an error in itself, right?
Yeah.
So, A, That's it. That's it. You know what? I'm not here to end this on bleak, bloom, doom, bleak, doom. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, we had a fucking good day, bro. You know, founders came out here and spoke. I think we covered a lot of points. Like, just to reiterate on, things that were addressed today. Fundamentals are up, even if the token is down. The developer marketing is something that has yet to really kick on and boom. For example, the OpenSea partnership is unique, specific to Ronin. The allocation for fees going towards the Ronin treasury is a deal that no other blockchain has been able to strike with OpenSea. You saw the effect of OpenSea in a small phase of the event that did go down. That's a small indicator to what is potentially possible in the greater future. Again, treasury distribution, what happens with the RON treasury, how does that get implemented to users and people who are participants now and have been in the past and then will be in the future. So those are really good points to kind of consider. A lot of good examples that are net positive by the studios that have come to Ronin, even in this year, even in this tumultuous market. Like 500% increase of gamers in a gaming application is a huge fucking metric to consider for any builder out there, any developer, any studio that is who wants to be in this niche. It's fucking, it is a given that if you come to Ronin, you're going to get more gamers than you already have. The play to earn itself,
I mean, who said that?
In a remodeling phase.
Cambria tweeted that themselves, right?
Yeah, and that's a fishing frenzy metric. So you have two.
Was it?
With
yeah,
that.
yeah. So I think Cambria was like, Ronin got the players, and Abstract got the money. Yeah, like that's pretty much straight up like what their tweet was, right?
Yeah.
Ronin got the players, Abstract got the money. No, like I'm not gonna bullshit. Like, yeah, we are like a rice chain. It's not a
rice,
joke.
bro. Wrong
we
network,
are rice,
bro.
but we were built on that, right? Remember what Ronin was built on. Ronin was built on scholars, right? That's how we got started. And the true believers, even to this day, are still mostly scholars who graduated. Right? So you gotta understand, like, also where and how this started. A lot of we don't really have as many whales as some of these other chains. That's just a matter of fact. But we do have real gamers. We do got some players. We do got people who actually want to play, right? If Cambria, the hottest game right now, comes out and is like, yeah, most of our people are like players from Ronin, and like most of the money coming in is for Abstract. Okay, cool. That tells a lot. Maybe we just need partnerships. Maybe we need a partnership with Abstract. I don't know. Maybe that actually works. Maybe we do something where like Ronin games want to stream on Abstract, right? And like try to do some collabs or whatever. I think
those avenues are definitely
a lot of
open.
stuff we can do.
Shout out to Fintoten. But question: what fundamentals are up? Fees way down, users way down. What do you consider fundamentals, Demon?
I don't know. Well, what are we talking about? Like fundamentals in what sense?
Because that was part of the conversation today, was that despite run price being down, the fundamentals of the network.
Well, I was saying more like, how far along we are, right? How many teams we have, how many games we have. I think most of this is more like short-term pain than long-term pain, because remember, a lot of these teams, I assume, got paid in RON, right? A lot of these teams sell NFTs, sell tokens and everything, and they take RON as payment. What happens when those teams take RON in payment? You think they hold their RON? Of course not. They're not stupid. They need their runway, right? They need to secure runway. If they're not stupid, they're gonna sell the RON at the price that they got it at, so that they can have runway, right? So that they can stay alive for whatever period of time that they planned out in their roadmap, right? So RON is actually being sold more than you can imagine with all these things, but that's not the case anymore as much so, because there's not partnerships. A lot of this is all open RON, and people just come in and they just build, right? They can hope for partnerships in the future, but it's not guaranteed, right? So we just have to get to the hurdle of like, okay, the selling is done. Now we have more products and they're building and they're actually doing shit, and get the FOMO building, right? The FOMO is going to be the biggest gas for all this stuff. Get people feeling like, yo, what the hell is going on over there, right? I want to be a part of that. I want to be getting in on this. We only need a little bit of FOMO to send this flying. Like that's just going to be it's just gonna be a matter of time than anything else.
Yeah. For me, the fundamentals as well is more so about like the actual narrative, like if you look at the mission statement of Sky Mavis, but then also like the reason for Ronin development, like for me, how closely we align to that is fundamentals rather than like a metric fundamentals. So when I say fundamentals up, even though token is down, I mean like we are more closely aligned to the vision that was set out than we have been in the past. So like that's the fundamental growth of what's happening here, because that was the position I'm opened, was the position betting on the likelihood of that being the outcome. So for me, fundamentally, we are much greater today than we have ever been. So that's what I'm alluding to when I say fundamentals. That can mean something else for another person, and so on and so forth. No, Trevor, you will not get a 6.9 ETH tip if you stream on Abstract, unless you have an Abstract friend who is just trying to make a big bullish point. Spliffy Magoo, yo, this is what I'm saying. We need you on the show, brother. But he's saying, no, stop. Fundamentals are revenue and fees earned. For fundamentals of business, absolutely. But if you're say, for example, you're invested in Ron as like a share of the company, and the company is in a position where they have a lot of runway, and a lot of wealth, quote unquote. Like the revenue is important, of course. It always fucking is at the end of the day in business, but it's like, is the company still alive? Is the company still able to produce the product? Is the company still able to, get towards the product that they want to produce, if that is not yet in production openly? That's more so what I'm looking at. Like, yeah, fundamentals and revenue right now might not be great enough to fulfill the desire of what you want from the share in terms of the dividend from that share, but the company's sustenance is there. And it is almost I mean, it's an emerging market as well, so it's creating its target audience, it's creating its customer base throughout that time. And if they have the runway to do that and the customers do flow in, then the dividend will pay out. I don't think Bezos was talking about vibes when he wrote his investor letter in 2002. No, but he was talking more to the fact of, okay, how many people were using the internet in 2002, and maybe his foresight was on how many more people would use the internet in the coming years with the runway that they were now able to have, because they did acquire better numbers fundamentally over the next few years. And I guess that does.
Bro, we gotta drop that word, bro. We gotta drop that word, because that word can mean so many different things.
Many things. Yeah. Okay, let's talk about it from revenue.
Drop that
then.
word, man.
Yeah, let's talk about it from revenue then, because the Bezos letter was about revenue.
Say revenue. Just say revenue if you want.
Yeah, that's what we're gonna replace it. We're gonna replace it with revenue, because the Bezos letter was based upon revenue, right? He was largely addressing the fact that revenue models had improved by large percentages, but the share value had decreased, not directly reflecting the fact that the revenue was going up. So yes, there is some divergence between the Bezos statement and the reality of what's actually happening in Ronin. So I do feel the gripes that you have with me saying fundamentals are up, but forget the word fundamentals. Spiffy, we agree on a lot of things here. Like, I'm trying to, I'm trying to give you a portion of my optimism in your time of distress, because it's clear distress. But like, you saw that vision. You wouldn't be here if you didn't see that vision. So my optimism is being, like, I'm trying to give you that optimism, because I think a capitulation at this point would be devastating for things that you've done.
Let's just move on. Someone asked if Ronin is on a mission for onboarding millions. I think they need a great fun game that's like Axie MMO, 5v5 MOBA, like LOL. I mean, again, I said this earlier in the chat, and I think you guys understand my stance already. Build for the people you already have. Build for the people who are in this industry. Make it something that everyone wants to be a part of, instead of building for the people and chasing the people that aren't here. Okay? Yeah. Because the people who aren't here may never come here. Okay? You don't know if you're the incel, right, that can't land anybody. Okay, but if there's a fucking 7 or an 8 who loves the shit out of you, wants to be a part of your life, and will dedicate their whole life to you, don't be an idiot chasing the 10 who probably doesn't give a fuck about you. All right, that's what I'm gonna say. Okay, now a fun
You're
game,
married
if
to
that's what
this
the
app.
people here want, okay. If that's what the people here wants, okay, go for it. But from what I've noticed, that's not what they want. The people here want something completely degen, something that they can like be claw their way, like claw into something that they can um like just go risk on. You know what I mean? Like they want to spend their money. They want to spend their money thinking that there's a chance that they can 2x, 3x, 5x, 10x, whatever x. Okay, that's what they really want. Let's be real. Okay, now let's say a game like MOBA. People have been talking to me about this MOBA thing. I was like you before. In 2021, 2022, I was like you. I actually worked on advising on a game that was a MOBA game, thinking that that's exactly what this industry needed. We need a fun MOBA game. We're gonna fucking moon when we launch it. Everyone's gonna come and play it. They're gonna love it. We're gonna be the first one there. Wrong. Wrong. First of all, to launch a really fucking good MOBA game and make it successful, you would need probably $500 million or whatever, 100 million to like $500 million. Because one, you would need to create something super amazing, better than those other MOBA games that are already out there. And two, you would need to spend a fuck ton of money on marketing for that game, because you would need to sink in a shit ton of money just to bring people to come and play the game. And then you would have to hope that it actually sticks. Okay. So the amount of money that you need to even create the game is just so far out that it wouldn't even be worth it. And the risk to reward ratio is not there to do that. Okay. Third, it's a team game. In this modern day, people don't even play team games. Okay. Dota League topped out in 2018, 2019. They've all been downhill ever since. Player base, viewer base, all been downhill, right? And even Dota, you can see their prize pools. They've shrunk their prize pools year after year. We had 2018, I think their prize pool was $40 million for TI. Now it's not even 8. Right? Like it's such a huge difference. And a lot of their players are all legacy players, people who started playing from like 2010. Okay, we're in 2025 now, right? Or people who started playing Dota from like 2005, 2006, 2007, 2008, Dota 1. These are the same people who still play those games, and these are the same people who still support and watch those games. We're in a new generation. We're in an environment where dopamine is the most important thing. We're in an environment where fast games and fast dopamine hits is what people look out for and seek for. We like 5-minute games. We like 3-minute games. We like less effort. We like big rewards for little effort.
Yeah. Do you look at the current markets for gaming, like as indicators, like top selling games on different platforms, to kind of identify that, or is that just your perception of what
is it?
game is an audience? Like, do you look at like places like Steam and look at their top selling games right now for that indicator that we want, fast, high, like dopamine hits, and that being reflected in like
you can just look at the generation that we have right now, right? You can just look at what's trending. You don't even have to look at games. You can look at, like, for example, TikToks, right? Super trending. YouTube, what's trending on YouTube? It's not long form videos, it's actually shorts, even, right? And shorts, where they get shorts from? They got them from TikToks, right? Vines and so on, right? But those also phase out. Look at Vine. Vine was really good, but then it went underwater too early. Vine was actually too early for its time.
Yeah, it was too early, bro. Vine was so legendary.
Vine was just too early for its time, and that's why it died. I think they closed shop like 2017 or something, right? And hey, they had crazy numbers back in 2014, 2013, but it died, right? Just because there's tops and it goes down, it doesn't mean it's always gonna go up, right? Even if you have crazy numbers. But now look, TikTok came in, pretty much the same thing what Vine did, but it's blooming. Sometimes you can have the right product at the wrong time too, right? What you need is the right product at the right time. And you can see nowadays, like people love the fast stuff. They love the 2-minute videos. They love the 1-minute videos. They love the 30-second videos, right? They love summaries, right? You want to read a book? You don't have to read a book. Just go fucking write to Grok. Go write to ChatGPT. Be like, yo, tell me the meat of the book, right? What is the most important thing? And now
Bullet
boom,
point
done.
me this whole book.
I'm done, right?
Yeah.
Like you don't even someone doesn't even need to write those bullet points no more. We used to have those online, right? Like someone who actually read the book, studied the book, understood the book, put hours into it, would put that on. I forgot what that site was called, like Cheat Notes or whatever it is, right?
Mhm.
Now you just fucking ask AI to do it, right?
Yeah.
Everything is about speed, right? So gaming is about speed too. That's just how it is. That's just what people love. Look at Marvel Snap, one of the most popular, most downloaded, most played out game. Amazing IP, super fast games, right? Look at Hearthstone. Hearthstone was amazing back in 2011, 2012 because the meta then was still slow games, but getting a little bit faster was important, right? And Hearthstone was that. It was like a game where, like, you play it out. It's not as slow as Magic, right? But it's not as fast as Marvel Snap. It was like right in the middle. It did pretty good for a lot of years, but then also Hearthstone started falling off, right? Because the attention span of the individuals became smaller and smaller and smaller over time. Now, can we ever fix that? Probably not. Not without a lot of fucking therapy, right? It's probably not, right? Same thing like meme coin traders. Meme coin traders, can they fix that? Like dopamine, how much dopamine they get when they get so much money so quickly, how they see those charts move on 1 second charts and shit? Probably not, right? They're probably going to be fucked forever, right? It's just how it is. It's like a drug.
As investors, yeah, for real.
So that's
what
why,
kind
that's
of
what I'm saying,
game?
like,
What game fits that though? What game fits that category? Because like the games you alluded to were they're turn-based card games, right? Like
yeah. So that's why I think, for example, Cambria, like I think Cambria's only, like, I think they're gonna do well this time around. I think next time around they're not gonna do so well unless there's something like, for like the first 200 people got like 10 grand or some shit. I don't think they're gonna get as many people the next time around because a lot of people play now.
People are saying it's like a 5-figure payout.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see what happens,
For like
right?
top 50s, top 100.
Yeah. So they're not gonna play because, like, one, it was very hard for a lot of people, right? It was very hard. But they had a good recipe. The only problem is whales generally don't like to play 20 hours a day. They want to play like a few hours a day, right?
But that's where the paymaster role kind of was, right? And that, again, readopting the scholar element of
yeah. So
play to earn.
so this is where people are stuck, right? People look at Axie, they see the success of Axie, they want to copy Axie, but Axie's blueprint is outdated. Okay, you need to evolve on that. Why do you think Axie even abandoned their own blueprint? Because they know it's outdated, right? They're not going to keep printing the same thing. A lot of people keep thinking that, scholars is the way to go. False, right? Scholars just means that someone else is paying for them to play the game. But what you actually want is, you want those guys who are paying those guys to play the game to also want to play the game themselves, because you want them to get more involved. You want them more invested into your project, right? Into your game, and keep on pouring and pouring and pouring because they want to do so. So you need a game where, one, right, it's not going to be physically taxing. Two, because whales fucking hate physically taxing games. Two, you need something where, like, you can play just a few hours a day and still get your dopamine hits, right? And three, the prize pools and prizes and like price points and things like that should be sufficient for the whale's appetites. Okay. After that, everything else matters. And that's just being realistic, because that's just the industry that we're in. If you don't cater to these things, right, I can tell you from the beginning, your game is going to have its moments. You're going to have a great token launch. You're going to FOMO people in because you have a fun game. Fun games are the best to FOMO people in, have a great token launch, and then go straight to zero afterwards, right? A sustainable game is going to need to find a good way to attract whales and keep them there for eternity. After that, everything matters. After that, mass adoption, or who you want playing, do you want scholars playing or not? That's what matters. You better fucking build a game for whales, because if they don't want to play your game, if they want to be part of your ecosystem, I can guarantee you are going to zero.
Well, it is what it is. Ladies and gentlemen, I think we fucking finished, bro. I could carry on for a while. Like, there's a question in the chat right now talking about, how Ronin will get more revenue. Do they think onboarding millions will create more revenues? I think it's a natural, inherent thing. We could sit here and answer all these questions. We could continue debate. We could go back and forth. I could wait until Spliffy Magoo joins the show. You know what I mean? Like, we could do those.
Yeah,
things,
you know, Gila, what it is? It's like they're saying like, oh, it would be awesome to have flying cars, right? It's fucking awesome to have flying cars. No, I agree with you, right? It would be amazing to have a flying car, right?
Yeah.
Now, how do we get there?
Yeah.
Right? What do we need to do to get there? Do we even have the technology to get flying cars?
China does.
Right? So exactly. But did we, when 20 years ago we were looking for that? Right?
No, we just had the Jetsons on cartoon.
So that's what I mean, right? It's like some things take time and some things take like the right technology to come along the way and the right knowledge to come along the way and to crack to get to that point.
Yeah.
Right? Like, or not, when I say flying, I meant hovering, right? Hovering cars, right? Like hover cars, right? Where like every car can just be hovering and not like be a plane or something, right? China has like, what is it, like a chopper or something? It turns like a fucking
it's like a little mini one person chopper, bro. You fucking...
Yeah, who wrote that? Speed wrote that. That's the first time I saw it because I think he's the one who wrote that or something. Like, that was crazy. But yeah, but you get my point, right? Like, when we have ideas of like what would be awesome, it's like that's how I see it sometimes. Like, people don't think about the nitty gritty shit, the shit that the fucking shit that we gotta get through first, right? Like, we gotta break through that thing first. We have to become something that people actually want to use. We don't have anything that people want to use, right? But we have people that want to use the stuff that we have now. Okay, let's cater to them and build on it. That's the only thing we can actually do realistically. Yeah. Okay.
100%. Yeah. No, to be fair, I think today's a good day. I think today marks a period. To be honest, it was Monday, start of the week, where we'll see sentiment kind of start to turn around here. And just to think about it, answering the Quazing's live question as well, like, if there are, like, how does Ronin make money, right? What is one of the revenues that Ronin makes? Like, I'm just going to highlight one. I'm not going to highlight all of them because there are multitude of them. But every time a project comes here, creates an NFT, sells it on Ronin Marketplace, the treasury gets fees from each sale, and that is essentially a form of revenue for the Ronin network. If Ronin was to continue in the expansion pattern that it has been doing right now, and by next year we saw maybe 3 to 4 times the amount of projects that are here, 3 to 4 times the amount of sales that happen on Ronin Marketplace, 3 to 4 times the demand for the acquisition of said items, games could still be existing and the same item that sells today still sells next year. Then there could be 5 times more experiences that are quite similar to that. Like, those will uptick in revenues. And then also, if there's a different market climate, there'll be more liquidity, there'll be a different sentiment around how that liquidity is spent, so those revenues inherently will rise. So optimism, hey, it's a great little fucking thing to have in your little pocket right here during these times. But also just the fact of not being a fucking retard and being overexposed. But on that note, listen, thank you. Right? Thank you. What were you about to say? Something about speed?
To leave. No, I was gonna say, like, speaking of like optimism, the SPY SPX is like it's going to the top right. It just keeps mooning today. It's just mooning today. Like, it's just doing good. Like, markets are turning around. Like, sentiment's getting better. Like, tariff news, everything. Like I said, pricing. Just be patient, man. That's it. Forget about everything else. If you think all this stuff is too stressful and and it's like causing a lot of negativity in your life, set yourself free. Set yourself free. Not even kidding. There's no amount of money in this world that is worth all the stress. Okay, that's coming from some guy who's like me,
stressed anyway.
Who I was last year, who I am, like what I am compared to last year. I'm fucking sick, like crazy sick compared to how healthy I was last year. Like, I'll speak on that another time, but like it's just not worth it, man. Like, forget the stress. It's just not worth it. There's nothing that's worth it. There's more to life. Just like move on from it. We just gotta be real sometimes, eh?
Yeah, facts. Listen, thank you guys for tuning in. We've had a great show. It's been 2 hours this time. Ronin Town Hall today was pretty damn fucking good. If you want to go catch that back, I'm sure it's on the X. You can watch back. I'm sure they'll post it on YouTube too, just like we will do. Shout out to all the YouTube viewers as well. Go and subscribe to the Ronin Radio when you can catch all of our videos from our live shows. We're actually putting together a release schedule, upload schedule of other forms of videos too. So keep your eyes peeled for those things. Again, big shout out to the Ronin Network, the greatest game of blockchain on the planet, for supporting and powering this Ronin Radio every single time. Big shout out to the Ronkeys as well. This is the Ronky Network. There is other news coming in right now that I do have to share. So brace yourselves, everybody. We are actually, the stream's over.